What's up, guys? Just a slightly different format today, giving this vlogging stuff a go because why the fuck not? So, content for me to create, hopefully you maybe get an insight into training. It's more of a, I know there's a whole kind of obsession with this whole hybrid training thing on YouTube currently. The idea that people are combining running and lifting and not just pursuing strength or physique related goals. Well, I thought I'd do the same thing, but it's going to be lifting and martial arts because that is who you guys are. And then you can get an idea of how I structure training, how I put things together that I've been talking about in my various videos. So you can hopefully get something out of these, but just to see day-to-day training. So today I don't have Jiu-Jitsu. I've only really been training Jiu-Jitsu twice a week, sometimes once, honestly, it just depends. We've got an 8-month-old daughter. You know, sometimes you just can't get to the gym on certain class times, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately. But still means I can get in the gym and get some lifting done. So today is just lifting. Right now, my goals have been dropping body fat, as you probably see in the title of the video. So I started at 88 kilos, which is about 190 pounds. And that was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So now I am 82 kilos, 82.1 this morning. So what's that? 6 kilos, I think it's like 13 pounds. So I only started tracking my food a couple of weeks ago. I made the first kind of jump down just by changing some of my portions, which is relatively easy. I'm gonna do a photo shoot with my wife. I think in December, we're gonna do that. So I thought, you know, might as well get shredded for it. And at the same time, it means that I can start to add more muscle mass afterwards and go through a phase of that while doing jiu-jitsu as well. And I can document that too. So I can show you how I'm losing weight while doing jiu-jitsu and then how I'm gaining weight while doing jiu-jitsu. So even today on the agenda, so my big day was actually on Monday for what I was doing. So because that's the day that we have the babysitter in, we get to go to another gym to do that, where we have access to machines and all sorts of stuff. So that was like I did jiu-jitsu on Monday, and then I do a big like hypertrophy style training day. So that's like machine-based legs, slightly higher reps, then upper body as well, slightly higher reps. So that's kind of like, I guess, my big bodybuilding style day. And then always with my training, there's always stuff I want to keep in throughout the training. And that's usually power-based work, getting more jumps and things in as well on top of that. Don't have a medicine ball right now to throw, but that's okay. So today is going to be some light Olympic weightlifting movements, just to get back to it. I actually had someone pop my ankle a couple of weeks ago, so not a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago. So it's been, I've been limited to what I can do in terms of explosive training. It is getting better. So I can do some Olympic lifts. I just can't do like maximal vertical jumps and shit like that. But I'm gonna get some Olympic lifts going because I can at least get those moving. And then I'm gonna do some of my upper body hypertrophy work or strength hypertrophy work. So it's gonna be things like close grip, fat bench. I'll probably do some weighted pull-ups and then just some bodyweight exercises at the end, but I'll take you all through those. So I'll just get warmed up with the bar and you can follow along. So just doing some warm-up reps with the bar here. I'm gonna go off these soft blocks. You probably can't see them in the video. Hang on, maybe I'll put it down for you. Soft blocks there. Obviously training at home. Don't want to drop the weights on the platform too much. One, you're gonna completely destroy the foundation of your garage. Two, you got neighbors too, so just go off the blocks, increases the range or decreases the range of motion a little bit, which is nice, especially if your knees or you're a little older. I know my knees have taken a beating over years of competing in different sports, including Olympic weightlifting. So I prefer to go off slightly higher surfaces, just so I can still get the power movement in, but not completely fuck myself. But yeah, there's no reason you need to actually do the full movements, especially within combat sports. You know, you're not an Olympic weightlifter, you're not competing in it, you're just using them as a tool to develop power, move relatively heavy weights quickly, so just do that. Okay, 2 bar sets, and I'm good to go to start the first set. So I'm going to keep the volume pretty low on these. I'm just going to do some triples. It's been a while since I've done any kind of Olympic weightlifting derivatives, at least the powers. So probably just do 3. I'll probably work up to 3 sets of 3. Maybe I'll do 1 set of 3 that's like a little lighter than 2 actual working sets at the weight. Probably only up to like 50, 55 kilos, something really light. I'll set in pounds for the American listeners. It's like 115 or something like that. So nothing crazy. And then I'll probably move on to some kind of hang power clean after that. Same thing, just a few triples. And that's kind of like sets me up for the strength and hypertrophy work I'm going to do after. Sometimes it can be nice to do heavy or just power-based exercises first. I mean, I talk about it all the time in my different videos, podcasts, etc. Fast to slow. Do your fast exercises first in the program. Sets you up well later on, and you make sure you train that quality and you're not just doing pure bodybuilding stuff. I'll do another one there and then go up. Honestly, I think that's from my first working set today. I'll probably just do 3 sets there and then move on. Yeah, it's been a while. So when you come back to an exercise, obviously you're not going to be as good or as strong as you were, especially when it's heavily coordinated. So yeah, I'll do 2 more working sets there and then move on to the hang power clean. Also, if there's more things you want to see in these vlogs going forward, I know a lot of people like to vlog like what they eat in a day. I mean, I can share what I'm eating to drop body fat and throughout the day if that's something that interests you. But yeah, so far so good, it's going well. It's just important that if you are doing this yourself, don't just do your martial art, jiu-jitsu, boxing, whatever it is, to lose weight. It's probably the number one way people do this wrong. Is suddenly picking up an activity, could even be running, and that is how they drop body fat because it burns calories. But you're not exercising to burn calories. You're doing your martial art to get better at your martial art. Maybe it could be some kind of cardiovascular benefits, cool. But you need to lift weights because lifting weights is going to help you maintain the muscle mass that you have. So the only way to retain the muscle mass is through lifting, and lifting like you're trying to build muscle. So while power snatches and stuff aren't necessarily to build muscle, the stuff I would do after this is going to be that. So make sure you're lifting at least twice a week, high protein on top of that, and you'll retain more muscle mass as you drop body fat. But how's it go next set? That set was way better. Maybe I just needed a warm up with that weight. Alright, so that's the end of power snatches. Do some hang power cleans now again. Probably pretty light, probably up to like 70, maybe 80 kilos, which is like, what is that? 165, 160, 180-ish pounds. Nothing crazy. Just get some reps in before we go to our main muscle mass, muscle building work here. Now, if I trained Jiu-Jitsu already today, probably wouldn't be doing the Olympic lifts today. It's tough. I found like my knees will be too sore after Jiu-Jitsu to do the Olympic lifts, and then if you've already done a bit on the mats, it's hard to really generate power and stuff on here. So just bear that in mind. So I will say, the first set is always ugly, but that's okay. Now I'm really warm for it. Now, if you don't have the mobility or flexibility to get into that front rack position, you don't have to do the full power clean. You can do a high pull, so you might come up and pull the bar up. I actually have a video on the channel covering that, if you go back in time, and a bunch of other Olympic weightlifting variations too. But yeah, I'm going to work my way up. And if you do want to develop the flexibility, well, I mean, what I did when I was younger, every day after training, I just had a bar in the front rack. And it would hurt like hell, but every day, I just get into that front rack position with the bar. And then eventually you'll get there. Not necessary, but you know, if you want to do the lifts, you can do that. Look, Olympic weightlifting, it's not mandatory for you to do for your combat training, but if you're a grappler, wrestler, I mean grappling kind of covers wrestling, but any of that, man, you can benefit greatly from Olympic weightlifting derivatives. Just the ability of accelerating heavier loads, like the speeds you get on these, like you can do speed squats, speed deadlifts with bands and chains, whatever, nothing comes close to these. So that is why I prefer these. Plus, you're getting in similar positions, well, similar-ish positions to if you were going to lift someone from the floor. You know, if you have their back and you're trying to perform a mat return, obviously, good technique makes it a whole lot easier. But, you know, having that power in your hips, you know, it's helpful. So I highly advise learning the lifts if you can. Could go heavier, but I'm just going to stick with that today. We'll stay at 70 kilos. First day in a while, so I'll probably only do 2 more sets there. And then we'll move on to close grip bench, but with the fat grips. Damn, my calves are on fire. I could definitely push more with my legs. During this, I can feel that I'm not quite finishing them, but you know, first time back in a while, whatever. So now I'm going to take you over to the rack. We're going to do some close grip bench, but with the fat grips. I do pretty much all of my upper body exercises using fat grips. If I had a fat bar, I'd use the fat bar, but I don't. So fat grips, and I'll show you that setup and get warmed up. So, change bars. I've got the shitty rusty bar to use on the rack. The last thing you want to do is use a proper weightlifting bar. Hopefully you can hear this in the mic there. Use a proper weightlifting bar on a rack, especially when there's metal here. You're just gonna scratch all your nailing off. I mean, that's why when you go to the gym or a commercial gym and you feel the outside here of those bars, they're completely smooth. You don't want to do that to your good bars. But got the setup now. I always do warm-up sets with the bar on every exercise that I do throughout. Never jump straight to whatever my first warm-up weight is. I always start with the bar, make sure everything's set up properly, just get in the groove with it, you know, and then I go to it from there. So with the bench, I always do close grip, always. I never do a traditional bench press grip like a powerlifter or a little wider. There's a few reasons for that. One of them is I like to target my triceps, shoulders and triceps, more than my chest if you're looking at a muscular standpoint, but it's more so from a biomechanical standpoint where if you're throwing punches or doing anything close range, pushing someone, you're pretty much never out to the side. When we're doing something like that, that's kind of your weak position. The easiest way to think about it is if you're gonna push a car, you're never pushing with your elbows out like this, or you're never pushing with your arms wide, you're here, and that's like your power position. So I like to press from that power position. And two, it's way safer on your shoulders. If you start benching too wide and things like that, man, you can get into shoulder problems really, really quickly. So I keep everything like this, but it can be good to get into those weird, awkward positions. You never know when you might end up with your arm, you know, behind you or something like that. But I'd rather train that doing something like a machine chest fly or some kind of fly to really get the stretch on it and then bring it back versus a heavy load wide bench press. So yeah, take with that what you will. So my go-to set and rep range when I'm doing this exercise in particular, if it's for size, a set of 8. I don't know why, but 8 seems to be that sweet spot between load and reps, at least for me. So I'll do 3 or 4 sets of 8 for building mass. If I'm just going for more strength, I would be doing sets of 3 to 5 or even 3 to 6. But for this exercise in particular, yeah, sets of 8 if you're looking to grow some big triceps on top of everything else. I like to pause a little bit on the chest, not always, but it just helps remove any of that bounce, as it will. Oh, nothing too heavy. It's only 70 kilos today. I know when I was doing, during lockdowns when I was just lifting, I mean I was doing 8s at 100. What's that, 225, 220-ish? So I'll get back there. I think my best recently has been like, been using 80 or 85 as work sets today. It's just one of those days. I'll do another set here, and if it feels good, I'll go up, but you know, you don't always have to push. Consistency is what matters most in your training, not trying to get top 10% great training sessions every session. It's just consistency, and if it doesn't feel great that one day, cool. That way, then you kind of just back off a little bit. Next session will be better, so yeah, we'll keep going. Usually to save time, I actually superset this with my pull-ups, but you know, when you train at home, you're limited by what you have. So the pull-up bar is on the rack, so when the bar's on there, I obviously can't do pull-ups. So I'm gonna do this. I'll do one set of bodyweight pull-ups, strap on some weight, then I might finish with just some bodyweight finishes. And I'll talk you through those. And I'm in a lot of the Suits After Fighting underground training programs that I've got in the training app. I use the bodyweight finishes a lot. I think it's a very slept on way of adding volume, building muscle without having the super fatigue that would come along from doing a shit ton of volume on something like this. When you could do something like push-ups or dips, pull-ups or inverted rows, etc., you can get that volume, but you're not going to be so beat up just because it's body weight. So yeah, I'll show you that in a bit. But we'll get the last set of this one done. My triceps are feeling pretty good right now. So get the last one of this done, and then we're going to get some pull-ups done. It's nothing crazy now. Just bang out a set of bodyweight pull-ups, and then we'll get some weight on. Easy warm-up set there. Probably might just go straight to 10 kilos, what's that, 20 something pounds. Get a few reps in. So typically with weighted pull-ups, I like to do around 5 to 6 reps. That's just a personal preference. I think as you start going higher reps, it becomes so much more difficult. You can't even add that much load anyway, so you might as well just do the body weight and get reps. So as you go 5 to 6, this was challenging in terms of grips. I just prefer an overhand, moderate width grip. Don't go wide, does you no good. One, you're not even going to hit the lats that well. The range of motion is so short. And two, it's just damn hard. You're going to limit yourself on load. So, go moderate grip. You can go underhand. Chin-ups are awesome. I find that my elbows tend to play up if I do a lot of chin-ups, especially heavy weighted ones. So, I tend to stick with the overhand. My elbows feel better doing it versus going underhand. But it's always good to vary the grips. If you have the option, like when my elbows felt better, I would literally vary every single set. Neutral, underhand, overhand, all of it. So if you have the equipment to do that, definitely vary. If you don't, still try and vary, but you know, stick with the grip that feels good. Right, I'll probably do one more there, and then do the bodyweight finisher. Nice thing about pull-ups, even weighted ones, it's one of those exercises if you accidentally go too hard or push too close to failure, you're not going to have any repercussions the following day for other technical training. Like you can do pull-ups to failure and you'll probably be pretty sweet for training the next day or later that day, which is why I'm going to take you through these bodyweight finishes. So I'm going to set it up now, but I'm going to do inverted rows supersetted with decline push-ups. The goal is to hit a rep goal. So I'm just going to do a total of 50 decline push-ups, and probably just a total of 30 inverted rows. Inverted rows are way harder than push-ups. So the goal is just go back and forth. Obviously you can rest, but you want to complete those reps in the least amount of time possible. Sorry, not time, least amount of sets possible. So if you can do it in 2 or 3 sets, you're crushing it, and then you can just increase the number of reps per week. Again, all the Sweet Sides Fighting Underground programs, most of them have this in there. So I really like it through different phases. Doesn't beat you up and stuff like that, and most people lacking muscle mass anyway, so it's good to have in there. So I'll take you through that. Honestly, this shit sounds easy because it's just body weight, but it's not. And if you do these, give these a go, honestly. Let me know in the comments if you do give it a go. It's damn tough. If you're short on time as well, this is something you can do at home if you don't have much equipment. Just hit rep goals. You can do the same thing with a bodyweight squat, hit rep goals. Better than doing nothing, for sure. So let's do the first set of inverted rows. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to this. I underestimated that my arms are longer than I think. Alright, 15, first set of inverted rows. Now the decline push-up. And 25 decline push-ups. It's not bad. First round. So I actually got half the reps done in the first set. But as with these things, it drops off damn quick. So it means that my second and third sets are probably going to be well under in terms of number of reps hit. But I'm still halfway, so once I finish these, then I'll be done with training anyway. But I'll take you through these, and if there's anything more you want to see in these vaults, guys, let me know in the comments too. You got some landscapes out here, but let me know in the comments if you enjoy this, if there's more you want to see, if you want more of these videos. Shit, I'll film them more often. I'll even take this to the Jiu-Jitsu gym as well, and even film some of that if this is something you guys enjoy. So let me know in the comments. I've still got more work to do to show you, but make sure to subscribe as well. You know, when you subscribe, you help send my daughter off to school. So more subscriptions, the better. But let's get to the next one of inverted rows. There's no set time you have to rest. For this particular, I guess, mode of training, you don't want to rest too long. Like for all the other stuff we did today, rest long because you want quality. For these ones, it's almost kind of like get the work in quick. You don't want to sit around for too long. And yes, it's going to suck more. I just left 6 for the last set of inverted rows. Probably try and leave maybe 10, so I'll do a set of 15 now with these to leave 10 to finish. Cool, so I now only have 6 inverted rows, 10 decline push-ups, and then that's training down there. So almost on that rest period topic again, don't fall into the trap of doing everything with short rest periods. just because you're looking to lose body fat. Again, that's a big mistake people do. Obviously the first one is just using cardio activity to burn calories. The second one is translating that and making your weight training the cardio activity. Your cardio activity isn't important when you're talking body composition, and you're going to do some because you're a combat athlete, so you're going to be doing that anyway when you're training. So your weight training is there to retain muscle mass. Only way to send that signal to your brain and your body to keep that muscle mass is to train like you're trying to build muscle, and then your body is going to respond in the way you want it to. So, final set. And that is today's training session done. I'll go eat something now. Probably my oats, to be honest. I like my oats on after training. Nice little treat. Usually I actually have cereal after big trainings, but during this phase where I'm on slightly lower calories, kind of don't want to waste them on cereal, because then I have to take out a lot of other stuff. To get there, and just to give you a breakdown of what my actual diet or nutrition looks like, it's about 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein per day, 25% of my calories from fat, and the rest is carbohydrates. So in grams, it turns out to be like 175, 180 grams of protein, about 250 grams of carbs, and then about 60-ish grams of fat. And yeah, down 13 pounds. It's not like I was fat to begin with, but I definitely a little fluffy, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that, but I think if you want to, you can be stuck in that no man's land with, am I going to get bigger, go up a weight class, or am I going to come down and go to a lower weight class? And you kind of get stuck in this no man's land of just kind of stuck in the middle. Commit one way or the other. Typically I just want to get leaner, because if I get leaner, I want to be more sensitive to building muscle, ideally. And when I do build muscle, because obviously along with muscle mass comes a little bit of fat mass, I don't want to blow out and just keep adding more fat mass. You know, it's unnecessary. You feel it big time on the mats, like even just a couple of extra kilos, you feel big time in your endurance when you're rolling, even when you're striking and things like that too. So I'd rather come down, be a little leaner, especially for the photo shoot that I mentioned at the beginning. And then once I get down there, I'll take you on the journey down there. Once we're down there, I'll take you on the journey back up, and how you can build muscle, get bigger while doing combat sports. And it is possible. Might be useful for any of you looking to move up a weight class, or any of you recreational combat athletes or recreational competitors. Still useful for guys who are maybe fighting pro and things like that, just in terms of training and diet. But you know, my training right now is, I don't have a specific program, I just have things I know I want to hit. I think once we get into that building phase, I'll probably do my off-season wrestling program that's in the Sweet Science of Fighting Underground app, so you can see that as well. It's kind of geared towards that. There's also the Jats Grappler one, but that one's more commercial gym based, so if you have like machines and things like that, that works well. But yeah, I'll see you in the next vlog.